Most people are scared of being alone, the empty apartment, the phone that stays quiet, a Friday night with nothing planned and no one to call. That silence can feel like proof that something is wrong with you, but some people are different. They don't just put up with being alone, they light up in it. And psychologists are starting to say, this isn't a flaw. It's a real pattern in how the brain and body work, wired in from the start. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know 6 specific things these people do differently than almost everyone else. So ask yourself this: what if the thing you've been trying to fix about yourself is actually rare and worth keeping? What if solitude isn't a weakness, but the way your mind is built to run best? What if you're not the one missing something, everyone else is? Loving solitude isn't about hiding from the world. It's a nervous system that thinks clearest when the noise stops. And this doesn't mean you're cold, broken, or doomed to be alone forever. Picture this: you're sitting in your parked car after work, engine off, just breathing, not because something's wrong, because that silence is the only place your thoughts feel like your own. You've probably thought, something is wrong with me. That thought isn't true. It's just an old rule from a world that treats loud as normal and quiet as broken. Real quick before we start, if you enjoy content like this, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, but it means a lot for the channel. Let's jump in. Number 1, you recharge in silence. Most people recharge by going out, calling a friend, filling the space with noise. Psychologists call this trait introversion. Your brain treats quiet like a phone charger, not a punishment. That means you come back stronger, sharper, and more like yourself after time alone. Number 2, you'd rather go deep with one person than wide with 20. Most people collect contacts like trophies. This is called selective sociality. Your mind values trust over head count, so every close bond you build actually holds weight. Number 3, you think best on paper, not out loud in a group. Most people process by talking it through with others. This is reflective cognition. Your thoughts need space to form before they're ready to share, which means what you finally say tends to be worth hearing. Number 4, you notice you're tired before the party even ends. Most people push through and crash later. This is interoceptive awareness, reading your own body's signals early. It protects you from burnout before it starts. Number 5, you can sit in boredom without grabbing your phone. Most people can't stand 5 quiet seconds. This is distress tolerance, and it's the seed of every original idea you'll ever have. Let's pause here for a second, because I know some of these have stung a little. Maybe you've felt guilty for leaving a party early, or ashamed for turning down plans just to sit in your own quiet. Maybe you've been called antisocial, distant, or hard to read. Here's the truth: that guilt was never yours to carry. It was handed to you. From school, from family, from a culture that praises the loudest voice in the room and treats quiet as a problem to fix. You were taught, over and over, that being around people is the goal, and being alone is the failure. That's not a fact about you. That's just conditioning. And here's the part most people miss. The ones who made you feel guilty for needing space, often they're the ones who can't sit still, in silence themselves. Being alone with their own thoughts makes them uncomfortable, so your comfort with it looks strange to them, even threatening. Your peace becomes a mirror for what they're avoiding. You were never the problem in the room. You just learned to be honest about what you actually need. That's 5 traits down. And if even 2 of them sound like you already know this isn't random. But since you stayed this long, here's one more, a bonus trait most people never even notice in themselves. Number 6, you make your best decisions right after time alone, not right after talking them through with a group. Most people gather opinions before they choose, hoping the crowd will hand them the answer. You do the opposite. You step away, let the noise fade, and let your own mind settle the question. That's not stubbornness. That's a sign your thinking works best without interference. Give your brain quiet, and it hands you clarity. Give it a crowd, and it hands you confusion dressed up as consensus. Let's break down why this actually works, starting with the brain itself. Most people think stillness is wasted time, like the brain just goes idle. The truth is the opposite. When things go quiet, your brain switches into a deep processing mode, sorting memories, solving problems, connecting ideas you didn't even know you were working on. Think of it like a kitchen after closing time. The lights are low, but that's when the real cleanup and prep happens. Stillness isn't empty, it's where the sorting happens. Next, most people think a quiet voice means an unsure one. Not true. Your inner voice needs space away from everyone else's opinions to even be heard. Picture trying to hear your own name whispered in a crowded stadium. You need the noise to drop before you can catch it. Late to speak, early to understand. And one more. People often confuse needing space with lacking confidence, but clarity and confidence are not the same system. Confidence is loud, clarity is quiet, precise, and rare. Clarity isn't loud, it's just clear. Now let's look at how this shapes your relationships and your sense of self. Most people believe more friends means more success. A packed contact list, a full calendar, that's supposed to be the goal. But research on connection points somewhere else. It's not the number of people around you, it's the trust between you and them. One person who truly knows you does more for your well-being than 20 who only know your surface. One real conversation outweighs 10 small ones. Next, people assume boredom is something to escape as fast as possible. But boredom is actually the space where new ideas get room to grow. Think of a garden left untouched for a season. It looks empty, but underneath, it's building the conditions for growth. Nothing new is born from constant noise. And last, people confuse guarding your attention with being selfish. It isn't. Attention is the most limited resource you have. More limited than time or money. Where you point it shapes who you become. Protecting it isn't rude. It's self-respect, not a performance for anyone watching. What you give attention to, you give your life to. Now let's clear up the biggest misconception of all. People assume that if you love solitude, you must need people less. That's not true, and it's worth saying clearly. You don't need people less. You need them differently. Think of it like food. Some people graze all day, snacking on quick chats and small talk to feel full. You're not built that way. You eat one real meal, a deep conversation, real presence, actual honesty, and that meal there carries you for days. It's not less connection, it's more concentrated connection. So when you do show up for someone, you're not performing, you're not distracted, and you're not just filling silence because it feels awkward. You're actually there, fully there. That's rare, and people feel it. The friends and family who understand this about you don't get less of you. They get the real you, undiluted, instead of a tired, stretched, thin version spread across 50 shallow interactions. Needing space doesn't make you distant. It makes what you give to others more honest and more true. So when you strip away every trait we talked about today, they all point to one thing. This isn't about avoiding people. It's about building self-trust, the quiet confidence that your own mind, on its own, is enough. If you saw yourself in this video, hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are not too much, and you are not too little. You were never the one missing something. You just learned, maybe the hard way, to trust your own company instead of running from it. That's not a flaw to fix. That's a strength most people never build. So don't let anyone talk you out of it. Not your family, not your friends, not the version of yourself that still feels guilty for wanting quiet. Protect it. Develop it. Trust it. If you enjoyed this look into how the mind works, hit like and subscribe for more insights into human behavior. What surprised you most today? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.